begin the management interaction session, we have with us Mr. Sanjay Thakkar, Promoter, Chairman and Executive Director, Mr. Ariman Thakkar, Executive Director, and Mr. Surendra Agarwal, CFO. Over to Sanjay, sir.
Thanks for being around late in the day. From a single Honda dealership over 25 years ago to today, 117 showrooms and workshops nationwide across 9 brands, our journey has been extraordinary. You drive us is not just a tagline, it's a commitment for growth and our zeal to provide excellent customer service. What you witness today is the fruition of seeds planted in the past. Our choice to become multi-brand, multi-locational auto retailer, the strategic separation of management and ownership, and the empowerment of dynamic team of young professionals all contribute to landmark significance in Indian auto dealership landscape. Our portfolio spans the entire ownership life cycle, encompassing new vehicle sales, third-party financing and insurance products, after-sales service and spare parts, and pre-owned vehicle sales. While our core offering in new vehicle sales, third-party financing and after-sales services are well established, pre-owned vehicle sales is relatively recent and strategic in nature. It is poised to become a meaningful contributor to our revenue and profitability in the years to come. The current season is marked by what we call the 3 M's: Mercedes-Benz, MG Motor, and Mahindra & Mahindra. It has been Landmark's philosophy to choose partners carefully and then go deep with them. Landmark is embarking on an exhilarating new development as we expand our reach into the 10th Indian state with the sophisticated brand new workshop of Mercedes-Benz in Hyderabad. But that's not all. We are also solidifying our presence in our headquarters, Ahmedabad, with a new MG dealership. Both these geographies present itself as a high growth market with tremendous opportunities which we are ready to seize. These developments are testament to Landmark's prowess in building and reinforcing partnerships. Further, I am excited to share that Goa MG facility commenced operation in the last week. Our upcoming dealership of Mahindra & Mahindra in Howrah in the outskirts of Calcutta is progressing well and set to commence operation in the next quarter. We believe this expansion will further strengthen our presence in the key market and contribute to our overall growth. Having said that, Honda is our all-time favorite and enjoys a very deep customer affinity and has received good response since the launch of the new Elevate in the month of September. Overall, we are witnessing promising traction across our brands and regions, and it's testament of growing demand of premium and automotive experiences. I throw the floor open now for question and answer, and thank you once again for part of the journey. Let's make most of this event. Thank you.
Please take your name and organization name when you ask a question.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible? Yeah. My name is Lokesh Manik from Valem Capital. Just a couple of questions from my end. First one was, what are the variables or the parameters you look at when you choose an OEM to partner with? And second was on the location, whether the decision to choose a location depends upon you or the OEM. If it's you, then again, what are the factors that you look at for the choice of location?
Sure. The first thing, the first filter that one needs to kind of clear is how strong the OE is globally, if it is a global OE. Now that's not the only filter that you need to clear. How much is the focus on India? Now after the Ukraine war and COVID, that has become not so relevant because everybody is focusing on India. The question is on timelines. as to how much time will it take for them to ramp up and make meaningful introduction of products that they will be selling. The other factor, and which is an important fact that you need to understand and all investors need to understand, is the fact we are talking about right now the numerator, how many cars or what is the ASP and what will be the turnover. The other important factor is that what is the denominator, what is the distribution, how many dealers do they want to appoint. So what is in it for us? It becomes difficult if there are multi-dealers in a certain geography with discounting and whatnot, you understand that. So the philosophy of a OE is important to understand as to whether they want more dealers or they are comfortable with large organized retail dealership chain and they are willing to give you a long rope and a free hand. Also, you spoke about the geographical choosing of the geographies. Now, the data on which cities, states which are expanding is kind of well available. We know where the automobiles are selling. The good part about India today is that while India is shining, Bharat, as what Santosh said, is also kind of getting, I'm kind of awakening. So with the 2.2% car ownership that we have, really there is a huge runway that you have. Law and order in a state also sometimes matters. What is the competition, the availability of trained manpower, all of that happens. But again, horses for courses, there is no one size fits all. What terms you get.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is Parag Thakkar from Anvil. Thanks a lot for excellent presentation. I would just like to ask you about the after sales business. What kind of stickiness? So basically, I asked in one of the thing that how many cars which are bought from you come back to you for servicing, percentage of cars, and what kind of revenues or ROC and margins we make in that business, and whether we can assume that that business can only grow. Yeah, of course, the COVID kind of situations are one-off cases, but generally speaking, if the world is working, this business particularly can only grow, keep growing, right? As we sell more cars.
Yeah, Parag bhai, what would CKS mean? I didn't exactly understand.
No, I'm saying after sales business.
After sales business, yeah.
Last year revenue was 750 crores. That business I'm talking about.
Yeah. So the answer to this is that the premium and luxury cars, the propensity for the car owners to go to the authorized dealership is very strong. The cars also come with what is known as a warranty, which from the manufacturer, and we as a company also sell extended warranties. Now, generally the terms of these warranties are that you need to necessarily regularly service these vehicles in the authorized dealerships. So there is during our after sales presentation over there, we mentioned that up to 7 years, we have approximately 2/3 of the cars that we have sold or the dealerships that we have acquired. Those vehicles, they come to our workshop regularly. This is the statistics, and I have been saying this for some time, and I hold it that there are very few businesses in India which you can draw on an Excel sheet and they will come true. Now, really, what more do you want? I mean, we know how to draw Excel sheets up, and this is what it is. What you see is what you get.
So it is growing at 20% if you exclude COVID years.
Yeah, so it has been historically, that is the number we realized was coming. Now this is a combination of dealerships that we have acquired. It is a combination of dealerships we have also shut in the process. In the last year, where our growth in the first 6 months top line was not 20%. So one of the reasons was that we shut some Renault outlets which we did not think were overall profitable or was not meaningful. So over a period of time, our confidence is there that we will be able to maintain it. Our business also, just to kind of say is a little difficult to look on a quarter-to-quarter basis. It is best to look at our business on an annual basis, or if you have a appetite on a slightly longer period, and that is something that you will all see good results.
And when Mercedes has a capacity to manufacture, say, 40 or 50,000 cars, and last year we sold, this year we are going to sell, say, 17,000 cars, and the only, I think the constraint was supply of some imported parts and something. So we are going to see some easing of that supply, and hence, because demand is there, right? So
demand is there. So till the company comes out with their official kind of statement on what volumes they are likely to be doing, it will be difficult for me to kind of say. But everybody realizes that India is an important market, and it is a growing market, one of the few in the world which offers this kind of an opportunity. I'll be surprised if they miss it.
Hi. Thank you, Sanjay, for organizing this day. Good to hear you. Two simple questions. One, these global OEM brands tend to be very arrogant, tend to be very hard in negotiation, and they have already a ringside view of your P&L. So any principles that we want to lay down, these are the things that we will not do, not get into, these are the terms that we will not surrender to, just in case, and in terms of business expansion also, you laid down very clearly, but do we have a framework where we will not, in product segments, brands, geographies, what we will not do will become very important?
Yeah, so,
sorry, Varun Goenka, Value Quest.
Yeah, Varun. So, let's kind of start from the end. What is it that we are unlikely to do? So, we are unlikely to do small cars. We are unlikely to do two-wheelers. We are unlikely to do small commercial vehicle, three-wheeler type of business. Reason, we realize that we are a kind of a premium retailer. You have seen our facilities, you have seen our people, you have seen the way we conduct ourselves. So we are not so good with, for a lack of better word, a frugal engineering. We are good with premium where the unit economics work best for us. So that's something which I would say. Now the auto dealers across the globe work on a 2 to 3% net profit margin business. I'm giving you a ballpark after tax. This is what they kind of do, whether it is in the west or in the east. The OEs, yes, they have an insight to your balance sheet, but we are not their only retailer. What they look at is an average of what the other guys are also making. Some are not as efficient as we are. Some are maybe more efficient than we are. Some have working capital issues. Some have money gaps. So it's a combination of all that. So the margins, sales margins in India today are amongst the lowest in the world. Understand what I'm saying? So if your question was leading to whether there is a chance of a downward revision in margins, I do not see that at all because of these 2-3 facts that I just laid down to you. Sorry, did I miss anything else?
Hello.
A lot of stuff has been written behind me. That's what we are. There is a zero tolerance on integrity. We as an organization do the right thing, and that's why that is the thing that we want to inculcate in people. We are fair to our customers. We are fair to our OEs, our employees, everybody we deal with. Money is not the driving force. It is just transient in nature.
So this side. So just want to understand your strategy on MG and Mahindra and Mahindra. So those are like, unlike other OEMs, these are the OEMs with established dealership network. Whereas in the other OEMs, we grew as the OEMs grew. So what will be your strategy where already there is a established network, there is a competition in all the local markets. So what can be the roadmap for you guys? And how can you expand your association with these two large OEMs?
Yeah.
Apurva Shah from Phillip
Yeah,
Capital.
Apurva. Yeah, I know Apurva. So, as far as MG and Mahindra is concerned, they are not the first ones where we have gotten in kind of late in the day. Mercedes-Benz, which is what is the flavor today, we entered that brand in 2009, and the brand has been present in the country since 1998. And there have been so many dealers who have been senior to us in the number of years association. It is the way we have kind of conducted the business. It is the way we have treated our customers and run the operations professionally that we have today become the largest dealers for Mercedes-Benz. As far as MG Motors is concerned, there is a second coming. You all have read the news about Jindal investing into the company, and then significant ramp up of production is what is happening. Aryaman and me, we were in China only 10 days back. We saw the new products which are likely to be introduced. We test drove them. So this is the time to re-enter. There is for a lack of better word, I am saying second innings. So first innings is over. We were not there. Now the second inning is over, and then we are entering at the right time, is what we believe, when the growth will happen. So this is a time which we believe is right for MG Motors to enter. We have already taken 3 meaningful markets in no time. We have been operational only for 2 months. This is only because of the reputation we carry. We have hit the ground running, and our team led by Harshal and Aryaman, we have done such a fantastic job in 2 months in Madhya Pradesh that they are really kind of asking us to take more and more territories to have a mutually beneficial association. Mahindra and Mahindra, we all know, has been growing. The 2 fastest growing brands in India today from April onwards have been Mahindra and MG Motors. So we have partnered with both of them. What I believe is that most OEs want to deal with Landmark and want to grow with us. This is the hypothesis that we are building, and this is being played out. You also heard Santosh in the morning. So Mahindras, unlike some other manufacturers, don't have that many dealers. So again, the question of numerator and denominator. So this is an important partnership, and we would like to grow with them also.
So, sir, do you see gap in the penetration of these two companies' OEM dealership? And so for you, growth may come from the lower penetration, and second thing could be the inorganic part. So of late we have whatever we did for MG and M&M, that is prima facie M&A route.
So so in case of MG, 2 of the 3 that we have done are M&A. Acquisitions of existing dealership. The third one is something that we will be setting organically. If the market is to grow, there will be a space for a second or a third partner in that town. We have always kind of entered that way, and it has been some years by the time we have been able to buy out or take out our local level competition.
Okay, and so finally, for that M&A, these 2 will be the prima facie target, or we could be open for all other?
We are open for many. So the point is that we have a lot of brands today. And if there is some profitable business venture which comes our way, we are not saying that we will will shy away from that. We will clearly examine it and go ahead with it.
So just coming back to the philosophy of that denominator, the number of distributors. So, do you have in your contract protection from the OEM that within a certain radius they will not allow another retailer to open up? And what is that radius that you look at?
So in India, unfortunately, there is no Franchise Protection Act. Our association, FADA, has been now, they've woken up to this reality, and through the parliament and some other legislative bodies trying to form a pressure group and a think tank basically to address this issue. So today the contracts are nothing like what you are saying, what may have happened in America and other geographies. They generally are silent on these kind of things.
So there's no protection provided by OEM, it's just more verbal and understanding.
This is not only an issue with the auto dealership, but lot of other franchise of every other, whether it is a clothes or a phones, or there is no Franchise Protection Act in India.
Understood. That's it. Thank you so much.
Hi, sir. Thanks for taking my question. This is Pranay from Burman Capital. Thank you for organizing this event. My question is with regards to Mercedes. So, you are already at about 16-17% wallet share. There is a lot of organic growth that is coming in. How does the future with Mercedes look like from outlet expansion point of view? So, in the morning, Mr. Santosh told us that the priority will be on first establishing workshops where there has been enough car park set up. Could you just give us a color on how does the workshops footprint in India look like? Like, are there white spaces in certain geographies where the car park is about to hit the tipping point and maybe Landmark has an edge in terms of setting up a workshop there as well? How does the future look like? And also on the new car side, how does it look like on that perspective?
So clearly Mercedes-Benz is our flagship brand currently, and I believe the way the nation is trending, it will remain to be the most important aspect of what we do. That's the first statement. What Santosh said, and if I understand correctly, is that let's kind of look at the Indian market. The top 8 cities today give 20, this is for not luxury, this is for overall passenger car market I'm talking about. The top 8 cities give 20% of the volume. The next 100 cities give 32% of the volume. And then the balance country gives 48%. Now the luxury penetration is what he was saying, that in nationwide, if you see, it's maybe a 1%. I'm rounding it off. Now there are pockets which are at 2, some are at half, some are at 0.2, and it is assumed that everything will grow. So where is it that you would rather go? That's where the idea was, that the top 8, top maybe 20 cities or 30 cities are already occupied. I don't know the exact number, it may be 27 or whatever, I will have to check. But the point is that the potential offered by the others is also there. So over there, for example, in case of Landmark, we have a workshop in Bhopal. We don't have a showroom over there. Now, would Bhopal, we are at Indore Bhopal showroom workshop. Now, would Bhopal need a showroom? Maybe that is, with the workshop experience we can see.
Got it, sir. And lastly, on the recent workshop that you are opening with Landmark, with Mercedes in Hyderabad, could you just help us with some numbers around, because it's not available, or at least I couldn't find them in public, what percentage of annual Merc sales actually happen in Telangana and then flows down to Hyderabad?
I'll quote Santosh. He said this like a passingly in the morning, that Hyderabad is approximately 8-9% of their sales, or the state of Telangana.
Got it. And sir, what time till you fully start operating this workshop, and any numbers you want to give out on annual revenue potential?
So we are wanting to start this workshop in the first quarter of next financial year. That's the endeavor, and that's the discussion with Mercedes-Benz. And the workshops generally are a highly profitable business. I don't want to share any workshop related numbers right now.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Dhaval from Girik Capital. My question is on this used car business. So over the next 5-year period, how will our balance sheet of this business look like? What sort of capital employed will be there? What sort of working capital will be required? When do we start seeing some return on capital happening in this business? So some explanation, understanding on that.
See, these are little early days. I don't have a 5-year plan for pre-owned cars. To be honest, that's not what we have been able to do. What we are doing, and I'm sure you would have seen the presentation and spent good amount of quality time on that used car group number 2 that they explained. Everybody who has entered this business has fallen.
Yeah.
Understand the backdrop. It's not an easy climb. We believe that we have a very unique model and we will crack it. Why? Because we are taking away the cost element from this business. The gross margin, nobody had any doubt. 8%, 7%, whatever you may want to. Then the cost was a killer. Now if you keep the costs under control and have the sale happening, then this is a scalable model where it will be a highly profitable business. Now what we are doing, and again the new car dealerships in India are not generally used to selling pre-owned cars. So there is a cultural change within Landmark which we are bringing about. There is customers which are obviously very keen to buy from us. Those are being addressed. This is a high growth area. The initial response has been pretty good. I had spoken about 100 crores of revenue and we are well on course of doing or surpassing that.
Yeah.
This will continue to grow. It is a very small number. 100 crores, if you ask me personally, it's a meaningless number for us. If we are able to do it, we can do much more.
So, the question was, the reason I asked about balance sheet and all was from a perspective of utilizing our core business cash flow. So, how will that cash flow be channeled for this business? Because here you are buying cars, you are going to invest in the inventory. So, a lot of big capital is going to be there. And plus, we are expanding on this side of the business, opening more showrooms, dealerships.
Currently, see, the point is that we don't need to buy if we are not able to sell.
Okay.
This is not that there is a buying company and there is a selling company. If the sale doesn't happen, the buying activity will stop.
Reduce, yeah.
You understand this? So this is all in our control. It is not that we are working in silos.
Correct.
And it is under one CEO or a person who is doing it. It's not different people doing different things without knowing what is happening. So currently we have allocated approximately 25 crores of capital for this business and we will see how that goes into the future.
And we are operating from the same location. So like this showroom.
Yes. That he explained.
So we are not spending any capex.
Yeah. Even we have not hired some significant staff also for this, right?
No, our existing staff is managing and the capex, there is no capex in this.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, this is Digan from GreenEdge. So my question is that you have more than 50 workshops where you do servicing of the cars. So which of the workshops are your best workshops in terms of being constantly utilized and you making really good return on capital there? I don't want which exactly, but at a company level, where can we reach? Because I believe today we are at a very nascent stage where getting people to come to your service showrooms itself, you have to have those call centers, so many reminders and so on. So just some idea on this of what you have done the best in past and what can happen in the future.
So one mother was asked, who is your favorite child? Now this is that kind of a question. All workshops make money. It is on that, on how mature is that workshop. Let me give you an example of, say, Jeep. When Jeep came into India, the workshops for us, for the first 4 or 5 years were not profitable. You would think that all workshops become profitable immediately. Yes, if you have car park. So once you have the car park, then the business is an annuity type of a recurring business. First variable is that the car park has to be there. The second, which is an important thing, is that the company should be selling adequate amount of new cars to kind of keep that load constant. The answer is that in premium and luxury cars, it is a better business to be in because the customers do not generally go to local garages. Again, local garages, there is not too much capacity. We don't stress or worry too much about that business because really nobody has been able to crack it. Just like the pre-owned cars, it sounds very good on Excel sheet, doesn't work out in real life.
So just mostly, what is the break-even time of, say, a very good store versus not a very good store?
You are talking about the showroom or the workshop?
No, the workshops.
So workshop, if you say, for example, if we were to start a Mercedes workshop or a existing Mahindra or a MG motor workshop, say, it is going to break even in the first year of operation.
Great, thanks.
Participants, in case you have any further questions, please raise your hand.
Hi again, sir. Yeah. So this is a question with regards to OEM strategy in general. Those OEMs which are producing in India, selling in the domestic market, but exporting as well. So recently, I read an article which also happened to mention Honda as one of the OEMs, where some of the brands who are not able to fully capitalize on the domestic markets, actually to utilize their capacities, are ramping up their exports aggressively. We all must have read that Elevate is being sold as WRV in Japan, and they are actually putting a lot of focus on the exports. When you're answering, you don't have to take any OEMs in general across. Do you see a risk in some of your existing customers where you see reducing focus in the domestic market? Is there a probability of that happening, and them looking at India mainly as a manufacturing hub rather than a domestic sale market?
So India, the world auto sales kind of peaked out at 72 million vehicles. Some years back, 3 years back, if I'm not mistaken, 72 million is where the world reached, and now nobody thinks that it will again breach that mark. As the third largest auto market, 4 million vehicles. China 27 million, USA 17 million. The headroom in India is so much that OEs are not really looking at setting up manufacturing base in India to be exported out. I don't see that as a strategy. They are first looking at the local market and then looking at the exports. This is the way I am, but yes, Renault Nissan has put up some plant in Chennai, Honda is exporting, Volkswagen is exporting. So they do what they have to do, but local market remains, according to me, their priority.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, this is Manasvi from ICICI Prudential. So can you just share the typical unit economics of your showroom, just, broad numbers?
So, all showrooms are of different sizes and shapes, and so are workshops. What you saw is not a typical workshop or a typical showroom. What we have done for simplicity's sake is that and we don't buy our properties. So the capital that we kind of sink into properties, it does not happen.
Yeah.
For non-Mercedes type of businesses that we run, the showroom interiors will cost approximately 3,500 rupees a square foot to make. A typical showroom size one can assume to be around 4,000 square feet. In a workshop, workshops, we ourselves have workshops as large as 50,000 square feet and as small as 5,000 square feet. So there is no typical size, but the interior for making a workshop for a non-Mercedes thing is around 2,500 rupees a square foot, which includes the equipment. And for a Mercedes, it will be maybe around 3,500 rupees a square foot, or maybe around 3,000 rupees a square foot. So this is what it is, and on a kind of a mature basis, and which is also a little difficult to define what you call mature. The workshops generally have an ROC of upwards of 55%, and the showrooms have it in the high teens.
Hi sir, this is Abhisar here from Monarch AF. Sir, I just wanted to know that, we have been quite successful in adding new OEMs on the premium segment, and this year also we added MG and now M&M. But on the luxury segment, we have been with Mercedes for quite a while. We have showcased our capability, which is there for everyone to see. So now, going ahead to reduce the risk from the Mercedes angle, how confident you are and what is the progress that we may be making to add one or two more luxury brands over time? And is that Mercedes also doesn't want that? Is there something like that?
So we let's kind of go to the genesis as to when and why we added M&M and MG. It was in the first quarter that we realized, and some completely different events happened. And let me kind of take you back 7-8 months to explain these events. In case of Honda, when the transition of the BS6 OBD2 norms came into play, they stopped manufacturing diesel, they stopped manufacturing Jazz and the WRV, and the Elevate was only introduced in September. We had a gap of like 5-6 months where our volumes actually took a big hit. In case of Jeep, again we saw that the petrol version of the Compass was discontinued again for exactly the same emission norms, and the engines for some reason was not introduced in India, and our volumes took a hit. The situation has been corrected partially now. And for BYD, their consignments were not cleared in time, and we had nothing to sell for like good 3-4 months. And Mercedes had a supply issue where the GLC and some of the SUVs were not available. So we when the year had started, we thought that we were adequately insulated. We thought that we have a good bouquet, and really what can go wrong? 1 or 2 can go wrong, but we didn't realize that 4 can go wrong for completely different reasons. So we had to add some meaningful business to our portfolio, which was not going to be impacted by one or the other event. And that's where we got into 2 mainstream brands to get. In our case, Abhisar, what happens is that we don't add brands frivolously. Once we do it, there is a management discussion that we will go deep. Nobody wants landmark for one dealership in one part of the country. That's my belief.
Sure.
So once they tie up, there is a plan that broadly, based on obviously the performance and execution, we started with one dealership of everything. It's the first generation business that you are talking about.
Yes.
So because we have delivered and delivered consistently, delivered with every brand, that we have become the largest for them over a period of time.
Right.
So once we have partnered with you, we have enough work on our hand. Our teams are right now, we are ramping up our management teams to execute what we now have in hand. And as far as luxury brands are concerned, till last year, it was a 2-horse race, as I was telling somebody over lunch. The others were not meaningful businesses to be looking at. A lot of dealers had already folded. The focus on India was just about coming up.
Yeah.
So in right time, in good time, things will all happen.
But sir, we are open to adding further luxury brands in the next.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And sir, just want your comment on that point also, that is Merck okay with that, or there is some condition around this?
See, globally, let me kind of take a global thing. Aryaman worked in AutoNation for some bit, and AutoNation has many luxury brands. I was in Tokyo, and I met with an Australian retailer who only dealt with luxury brands. It was a listed company, and only luxury brands. All the 3 Germans plus some more.
Sure.
So globally, this is something which is so routinely done.
Sure.
So when we were the first to get private equity, people were wondering. When we were We separated management from ownership. It was a new thing in India. Currently, why go far? We have in north of India one dealer who's an Audi and BMW dealer both.
Sure.
We in our Mercedes-Benz dealership have a dealer who's also a JLR dealer in the south. So, I mean,
Okay.
I'm just giving you examples which are so
Sure.
much available in our proximity.
Okay. And sir, my second question is on BYD. Obviously things are not very, very clear that how the BYD scale-up can happen. We do have MG template now with us, and the Indian government and other things have allowed an Indian partner to come in. So sir, do you have any clarity on where BYD is going next 3 to 5 years in India and how this will pan out? Or would their scale-up be fully dependent on, again, a partnership in India? Otherwise, they may struggle like the way they are right now.
The way the geopolitical situation is, this is basically to comment on a geopolitical situation that I don't think anybody in this room or outside of this room doubts the capability of that manufacturer. They are clearly numero uno in what they do.
Yes.
And the good part is that we have taken the pole position by being the largest dealer in India, in Delhi and Bombay. We have taken those territories. Now it is beyond my comprehension and pay grade to kind of comment on how the geopolitical situation will fan out. We, yes, have a template of Jindal with MG Motors, and it is possible that that is the only solve.
Understood.
So till that time, there would be, till the time the homologation happens, 2,500 cars.
Yeah.
If the homologation happens, then that cap goes away, but with paying full duty.
Understood. Understood. And sir, last question on the after-sales business. What would be the capital employed approximately in the after-sales business? And going ahead, would that split be changing a little bit?
So what we are doing, and Surendra is working on it, we haven't yet given the bifurcation of capital employed in the after-sales and sales. We had not, and look, it's a little difficult task for our accounts teams, but they are going to be doing it very soon. I'm also, because it's a 25-year-old history that we have to kind of, we had not kept our accounts
that way
as segment reporting. We are getting it done, and hopefully in the next quarter, if things go right, we'll be able to report that.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much and best wishes.
Just two small clarifications, Varun here again, sir. One, volume versus value. Our margins would be linked to more volume or value, or how do we benefit from changes in ASP?
The margin is a percentage.
Right.
Percentage of value.
So if there are more premiumization happening or there is a natural inflation to the prices,
absolutely,
it benefits us.
Every manufacturer will increase the prices of vehicles from 1st January.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that it's the best time to buy the car now. That's the first thing. And yes, from next year we will make more per car.
Your stock is an appreciating asset. Car is depreciating. And second, just if you could lay down next 3-5 years, what kind of capex, capital investment and working capital, how will that pan out? Basically, how would our balance sheet in the next 3
So currently, last year we generated 120 crores of cash flow, of cash. This year we are on course of doing, in the first 6 months is pretty much the same pace as what we had done in the last year, first 6 months if you were to look at. We have raised 150 crores less expenses from the IPO proceeds. Now we are sitting on that much cash, and it's a cash generating business. We have never taken, or not never, seldom taken any loan to either buy property. We don't need that money because we don't buy property. And the investment in setting up a showroom and a workshop, if you were to look at it in a very simply, if it is an organic thing, and say a jodi of a showroom and a workshop will come under, say, 7-8 crores, what we just spoke about. It's not that big an investment that we need to worry about. If it is an acquisition, we need the money. Do we have the money? We have the money. Do we want to pay a top dollar to do this acquisition? No. How do we do acquisitions? We are mindful of the ROC. We are wanting the cash payback period. We are not into any PE arbitrage, because we believe that finally this is possibly a cyclical business and we don't want to get in at the top by paying more money. So somebody I met said that it is a controlled aggression. Is that the way you would like to call yourself? I said yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Mustafa, 9 Rivers Capital. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about the buyback and sort of the financing schemes that you have. So in that, so Merck has, its own program for financing and buybacks globally. I'm not sure if it has that in India. But is there some conflict over there? Do you have to sort of operate under their ambit, or how is this? How does this work? And what are the terms of the buyback?
So let's have Aryaman in the play. He has been sitting and itching to have a go. So let him answer this.
So from the Mercedes perspective, it's done by Mercedes-Benz Financial, where they have a buyback scheme, a guaranteed buyback scheme at the end of tenure, where the dealer, which is us, needs to take back the car at the predetermined price. Sorry, is that
correct? But also, so when you are offering in the used, and oftentimes in the used, sort of when you're buying used car, you will then kind of try to sell them an upgrade, right? How does that play into the buyback?
So for a customer to be eligible, they have something called as the agility scheme, which you need to opt for at the time of buying the vehicle. I think currently it's quite a popular scheme that is getting traction more on the customer side. So from our buyback perspective also, that's a low-hanging fruit for us also to convert that customer and upgrade him to another perspective. And our idea is to take some learning from there and see how we can implement it with a wider audience. So.
Currently, this is only offered in Mercedes-Benz. To add to what Aryaman is saying, and I'll give you the technical answer and reason for it. It can only happen with NBFCs. The banks cannot offer this product. So the Mercedes-Benz Financial Services is NBFC which is offering this.
Thank you.
Participants, if anyone has a question.
Yeah, so thank you for spending the whole day over here. I hope our team has been able to explain to you what we really do day in, day out. Please do reach out to us, SGA, for any further queries. And last of it, 1st January, prices go up. Do buy.